Eric is a very busy individual. He currently holds 3 jobs and volunteers on 3 state boards. You might run across Eric at the Cinemark Movie Theater, or the West Jordan Library, or at the Neurobehavior Home program. I asked Eric's mom, Carla Stoker, how Eric keeps track of his schedule. Carla states that Eric is very organized and that he is personally responsible for keeping track of his own schedule. Let's hear from Eric, his boss, Alexis, and his mother, Carla.
My name is Eric Stoker. I live in West Jordan, Utah, and I currently work at 3 jobs. My first job is the Cinemark Movie Theater in Jordan Landing, and I am an usher for them. I take tickets and clean the theaters for them when people leave. My second job is the University of Utah's Neurobehavioral Home program, and what I do is I help them stock paper, scan their documents, like put the stickers on the documents and send them off to the scanning department, and get their schedules ready for Monday, check their resources, and make sure everybody's doing their job okay. And my third job is I work here at the West Jordan Library as a substitute shelver, and what I do is I put away books, movies, and DVDs, and I put away holds and put back holds from other libraries in the systems, and check in books when they come in on time. I currently volunteer with 3 committees. I work with the Utah Parent Center as a disability consumer. I'm an advocate for I'm the co-chair, for the DD Council. The DD Council is the Utah Developmental Disabilities Council. I'm also a member of the Utah Special Education Advisory Panel as their consumer as well.
My name is Alexis Aliris, and I'm the circulation supervisor here at the West Jordan Library. And I'm over the material that checks in and checks out, and I make sure that the material gets put back out on the shelf as well.
It's not always easy to find employment. Volunteering can give an individual experience. It shows the employer that the individual can perform the tasks essential to the job, and it may lead to a paid position. With 2 of Eric's jobs, he started out as a volunteer. The employer saw his work ethic, and they realized he could perform the tasks needed for the job. The employers helped Eric to obtain his jobs. Listen to Eric and his boss as they talk about the accommodations that were used to help Eric obtain his job at the West Jordan Library.
I was a volunteer at the West Jordan Library for about 5 to 6 years, and I wanted to work here at the library so bad, and I took the paper and pencil shelver's test, and it was just hard. I just couldn't do it because I tried 3 times. I took it over and over and over, and I just couldn't get through it.
Eric was really hardworking. He learns things quickly. He's got a really sharp mind. And so we prepped Eric for the shelver tests. So to become a shelver, you have to take a test and score proficient enough so that we know you can put materials away on the shelf. Eric, he took this shelver test a few times and he couldn't quite pass it. I thought that maybe he was having a hard time. The test is on a computer, so it's a computerized test. And so Eric, I thought maybe that was the problem, because when I helped him put material in order on a cart to be put away, he could do it just fine. So I talked with his mother and I talked with our HR department and to see if maybe we could get Eric an accommodation. And so we were able to get Eric an accommodation. So rather than take the test on the computer, we had just a cart of books, and he put the cart of books in order and put them away. You can't have any errors or only a few errors. And then there's a time period to the test as well. And so Eric passed the test with flying colors, and then we hired Eric as a substitute shelver. And it's been nice having Eric.
It's important to understand what employers look at in an employee. Employers seek employees who have good personal values, characteristics, and personality traits that spell success. These personality traits are what makes a good employee. Eric, his boss, Alexis, and mother, Carla, will discuss what traits Eric brings to the job.
Eric brings a happy attitude and just a go-getter attitude when he comes. He comes for a shift, he tells everybody hi. Eric is really good with names. I think the way Eric influences other staff is his attitude. He's willing to do anything. You show him how to do it once and he can do it, and if somebody asks him, he can show them how to do it as well. He's really a really fast learner.
I would say have a positive attitude and learn new things about what they're going to do, and just keep being yourself, and maybe if you keep working hard at this job, one day you'll get hired on, as like I did.
He's delightful, he has good manners, his behavior's appropriate. He wants to do the right thing, that's another gift. He wants to follow the rules, he wants to do the right thing. So it was just important to get him in an environment where those things were valued. And it's important to him. It's important to him to be on time and to honor his commitments, to be the places that he said he'd be. So he's pretty good about keeping up on that now on his own. He has a fabulous memory, and he's extremely organized, so I never have to worry about him being on time. The only time he's ever been late for work, it was my fault, and I'm continually reminded that we were 12 seconds late one day.
Individuals with disabilities and their families may use a variety of ways to help an individual with disabilities get to and from his or her job. This can include parents becoming the chauffeur, the individual having a job that he or she can walk to, hiring a driver, carpooling with coworkers, or accessing the public transit system. If available in your community, public transportation allows an individual with disabilities to become more independent and to gain access to employment, education, healthcare, and community life. Let's hear from Carla, his mother, and Eric, who uses many types of transportation to get to and from his jobs.
If we hadn't had public transportation, that certainly wouldn't have worked. So we did also look for opportunities where he could access that public transportation system.
If I'm going to the movie theater, I can catch the bus, or have my dad drives me sometimes, because right now the schedules are a little bit wacky right now for the movie theater, but when it gets calmer, I'll probably be taking the bus more. The University of Utah, I take the bus and the tracks train up to the U, and then for the ride home, I just take the train home, and then I walk from the train station because it's not very far. And then for the library, I can either take the bus or I can walk because it's close to my house, or I just have someone drive me if it's raining or snowing. Except if you walk in the snow, yuck.
Once our youth or young adult with disabilities gains employment, he or she may still need encouragement from his or her parents. Eric's mother discusses how she has helped Eric maintain his employment.
We have ongoing discussions about what happened at work. So if I think there's ever anything we need to address or something that's come up that he doesn't know how to handle, that maybe we could have a discussion about it. The things that come up have been fairly routine. Occasionally at the movie theater, someone will try to do something that's out of the ordinary that he is a little bit uncomfortable with. But then he'll, generally the movie theater folks help him work through that. And they say, oh no, you responded to that appropriately. But in the beginning, he would want to come home and talk about it. Just sort of that venting or debriefing, just like the rest of us do. In the very beginning, I would ask him questions about what's going to happen this week, what time is that, how will you get there, when will you be coming home? And because he wants to please folks, eventually he would anticipate that I was going to ask that information. And he would say, okay, here's what I've got on my schedule this week, and here's how I'm getting there. So it wasn't very long before he was responding, even before I gave him the prompt. On occasion, I needed to say to him, you know, I recognize that you'd like to go camping today. However, you have to go to work today. So we have to make decisions, and work is the thing that comes first.
As parents, we can learn from other parents' experiences. Eric's mother has gained experience on the journey with her son Eric and will share what she has learned along the way.
The thing that comes home to me looking back was I never presented him as a person with autism that needed a job. I presented the person, and people got to know the person rather than the disability. And that helped make him successful. That helped pave the way. You have to be brave. You have to try a lot of different things. Eric had several different job sites when he was at the South Valley School. I think he did fine with all of them, but there were some that I could just see he didn't enjoy that as much. He didn't enjoy working in a restaurant as much as maybe some of the other kids did. So to find out what they love and try to put them in that environment. And don't be afraid to ask. I just called the library and said, do you ever use volunteers? And they said, well, we do. And I said, I have a great volunteer for you. When can he start? When can we be there? You know, I think sometimes parents are afraid of employment because of issues with SSI. So we worked with a state benefits planner to determine if we were in danger of losing SSI, particularly when Eric got the job at the library. Then he had some additional income, and just really understand those rules more clearly. There's a lot of fear around that because you get letters all the time, you're audited all the time, and to just say, hey, I clearly understand this, I know what the rules are, it's been explained to me in my language. If the law changes, I can go back, I know who this person is. It was very non-threatening. And the nice thing for Eric is he's now transitioning from SSI to SSDI because of his wages and because he's worked. So then when he retires, he will actually have access to Social Security like the rest of us.
Let's listen to Carla and Eric's final advice.
I want Eric to be out in the world. I want him to be fulfilled. I want him to enjoy life. My vision for him, as his vision for himself, was not that he would be home playing video games or just have activities out in the community. I knew he could work and contribute and give back in many ways. And so find where your child can contribute, find what they enjoy, find what they love. It's just like work for the rest of us. We have to do what we love, we have to be where we're engaged, and I think it's so important that every one of us finds that. So it's turned out to be fabulous, and Eric can make choices about how to spend his money, about where he wants to go. He bought season tickets for the basketball games at the U this last year with money that he'd earned, and I had to buy dinner every game, but we went to all the basketball games and had a great time, and that was what he really wanted to do with that money and what he enjoys, and we should be able to have money that we can do those things with.
It's way fun, and someday you may get hired on working at a job you love, and someday you'll get hired on one day. Just keep at it. You'll get hired on. It's really fun.
For more information on any of the topics discussed, or to find resources in your area, please contact the Utah Parent Center at 801-272-1051, or our toll-free number is 1-800-468-1160, or visit our website at www.utahparentcenter.org.